welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Well, hey, welcome to the least dramatic Bachelor finale that has ever existed.
Welcome to the least dramatic Bachelor finale, but low-key one of the most dramatic Bachelor weeks we've had in a while. Bachelor Nation
Girlfriend, before 48 hours ago, I've been taking notes all week to be like, okay, we'll have our moment beforehand and talk about, Bachelor Nation news. And I literally wrote 2 days ago, it's been a boring week in Bachelor Nation. I literally wrote that. And then this happened, and I was like, well, this has taken a very swift turn.
So I want to talk about it. Obviously, I already have.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of debating. Do we say what happened, or do we just kind of I don't know.
I say that we say what happened because I actually did get some DMs and emails from people over the past 24 hours saying what happened with the Hannah Brown situation. We saw Becca posting about this, or not about you, excuse me. We saw on Ask Nick, on Nick Viall's, that he said something about Hannah Brown and we're not sure. So I think some people aren't aware of what happened.
Okay. So this is what happened on Saturday night. Hannah Brown was on her live with a friend and she was singing the lyrics. Somebody asked her about doing a TikTok dance. She started singing the lyrics to the song Rockstar. I'm just stating the facts. She skipped, there's a lyric before that says fuck a cop car. She skips over the fuck part.
Yeah.
Censors that part out and then goes on to say the N word in the following lyrics. And I'm just going to lay out exactly what happened, because when she says the N word, her friend giggles right after she says it. So there's definitely this kind of, it's so obvious when you watch it, there's this kind of acknowledgement of what just happened. And then they keep talking and singing. And then a minute or so later, she's starting to read people's comments on the live. And she's like, oh, did I say the N word? I don't think I said that. And her friend's like, no, you didn't say that. And then they're like, oh, maybe someone else in the room said it. Maybe it was blah, blah, blah. Maybe it was Patrick, Hannah's brother. And
if you were watching, you clearly heard that it was Hannah.
Yeah.
It wasn't an unclear moment.
So I watched the whole, the whole 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That was the chunk that part was in. And I think maybe this was part of the disturbing part of the live for me, is I think that maybe she actually forgot that she sang the lyric in the song, but then they thought that someone overheard someone else say the N word in the background.
Yeah.
And that was really a little bit upsetting to me, because then it was so quickly to be oh, maybe Patrick said it.
Mm. And
so I'm like, oh, is this something that people say in the background?
Yeah.
Of your, but anyway, so, and then her response when people are saying no, you said it with the lyrics of the song, whatever.
People were commenting now on her live saying calling her out for
she's
saying
reading
it.
She's reading
Yes,
it. Yeah.
Yes.
So her response was, I'm just going to read it. We don't say that word. So you know what? I'm going to stay here and y'all can think I said whatever I did or think I'm something I'm not, but I'm not that. Look, people are going to want to think whatever they want to think of me, get mad at me, whatever. And even if I did accidentally say it, I'm very sorry. I was singing a song and not even thinking. And then after that, she goes on to talk about the beach houses she's considering renting during quarantine and some other stuff. So, yeah, that happened. And then I'd say, I want to say 18 hours later. It was sometime the next day. It was after I had posted on my story my initial response to the whole situation. And let me just read. She ended up posting an apology on her story, typed out, "I owe you all a major apology. There's no excuse and I'll not justify what I've said. I've read your messages and have seen the hurt I've caused. I own it all. I'm terribly sorry. I know that whether in public or private language is unacceptable. I promise to do better." And, you know, one of the most disturbing things about this situation for me is how people were immediately responding. Bachelor Nation, like fans, and how quickly people were to jump in and defend her, saying it's just the lyrics to the song. If rappers don't want white people singing it, then they shouldn't be saying it. And then after her apology, people, you know, like, it's okay, it's fine, everyone makes mistakes. The whole situation was just really upsetting.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who spoke up in Bachelor Nation about the situation. Okay, look, here's what I'm going to say. When I first posted my response on Instagram, sorry everyone, I'm trying to gather my thoughts, but what I basically said on my story, this is what I said. I said, how are people still going to defend celebrities with access to so much privilege, knowledge, and education saying the N-word, even if it's just lyrics to a song, especially when that person had the wherewithal to skip over the F-word lyric first. We've got to hold people accountable to do better. Otherwise, we're continuing to prioritize the feelings of white people and someone we stan over ending our country's long history of casual racism and flippant anti-blackness. And no, you can't say the N-word just because black people say it. Black people reclaim the use of a word that was used for centuries to oppress and dehumanize them. It's a word that holds so much historical weight that the black community is still healing from, and parts of the white community are still weaponizing for dehumanization, particularly in the South. So no, it's not cool to just sing it along the lyrics of a song, especially not on your platform with millions of followers. SMH, it's 2020. Make a legitimate apology and acknowledge your behavior. So obviously I posted this before the formal apology, but I just want to say that what was also upsetting to me about this scenario is I think someone's immediate response before hundreds of thousands of people are jumping on your back is really telling. And that's what really upset me about the video, because it wasn't like she sang the lyric and then, you know, the live continued and then the next day she addressed it. It was like when people were calling her out on the live, the dismissant behavior of saying like, that's not who I am, whatever, people are going to say what they want to say, and just completely disregarding it. And she was also giggling through the apology, her and her friend were. And that to me, you know, people are like, oh, she made her apology. I'm like, well, what about the first apology? And that's why I responded how I did, because that first apology says a lot about how a person takes seriously or doesn't take seriously the repercussions of them doing something like saying the N-word, particularly on a platform where you have multiple millions of followers. And then just, you know, so the people who spoke up in Bachelor Nation about it were myself, Nick Viall, Tyler Cameron, and Rachel Lindsay, which I was really proud of Tyler for saying something.
You know
because
what? So was I. I was very...
Even though I don't completely agree with some of what he's saying, you know, he's talking about, you know, spread love, not hate. And I'm like, well, the action of a white person saying the N-word, I'm not saying Hannah Brown is hateful, but that action is hateful. And I think that people calling it disgusting and you know, being very outspoken about how disgusting that behavior is, I don't think that's spreading hate.
Yeah. No, I was more in referencing like his first 3 posts before that final 4th one. I was very...
Right.
I was surprised, and I was happy that he spoke up and said something.
Me too. And then Rachel, and I guess a couple more people now was just telling me, but what really bothered me is Rachel Lindsay took the time to go on her live, and then she posted as an IGTV, which you can now watch. She actually reached out to Hannah Brown first, which I thought was really like big of her, and was like, hey, this was really hurtful to me as a Black woman. And I think that you should take this opportunity. You know, when you went on your live, this is what happened. Now maybe you can take the opportunity to go on your live and I can help you educate people about why what you did was not okay. And that's an opportunity to kind of reclaim maybe like the use of your platform in a way.
Yeah.
And she says on her lives that she was really disappointed that that opportunity was not taken advantage of by Hannah. And then she goes on to talk about, I really encourage you to go watch this. If you have questions or kind of like doubts about this situation, she talks about the history of the N-word and makes a great
Her
parallel to the use of her parallel to the use of the word bitch in the reclamation or I don't know if that's a word, reclamation of that word. And she's talking about that in context of the N-word and Black people using it. Anyway, she just took the time to do that. And what really bothered me is I'm going through these comments and I'm seeing these people in Bachelor Nation commenting, being like, thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. You know, I'm not calling out anyone in particular. So please don't go like sift through the comments and being like, oh, Becca's calling out this person. No, I'm talking in general as a whole, because like I said, there's only about 4 people, only 3 white people in Bachelor Nation that even addressed it. And so I was really upset seeing these fellow Bachelor Nation people commenting support under Rachel's post, but not taking the time to say anything on their platform. And I just want to say that it's not enough to say that we're not racist as white people. We have to take the action to be anti-racist. And we have to use our platforms, as small or big as they may be, to speak out about the injustice of this kind of behavior. Even if I'm not talking about that everyone should have gone out and called out Hannah B. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if people, even just a simple, no, it's not okay for white people to say the N-word. Even if like some Bachelor Nation people had just tweeted that out or just typed that out on their story and not been silent about it. Because when you're silent about this kind of stuff, it speaks way more. And it was frustrating for me to see these people commenting support under Rachel's, but putting the burden of explanation, education, and emotional labor on the Black woman who is directly affected by this.
Yes.
And it's not her responsibility to educate or explain to us. And people were also, Jess pointed out to me,
I don't know if you all saw Mike Johnson's story, and my heart, like I had a pit in my stomach watching it, because he gets on his Instagram story and you can tell that he's frustrated, and he's like, I've tried to record this numerous times, but there are people coming into my DMs saying that I should be the one who's basically like, you know, stepping up and speaking out. And he's like, what Hannah did was wrong. And I don't know why.
Like point blank, yeah.
Point blank. And he's like, and I don't know why it's my responsibility right now that everyone's coming at me. And it was just that moment where it's like, why? And then I saw Katie Morton posted a long explanation that I thought was very well put. And she then did a quick, like post with herself speaking and it kind of explaining it. And again, it was one of those things where it's like, how many people are sliding into anyone who is Black in Bachelor Nation's DM and putting that burden on them? And that's not their responsibility. And when Rachel came on her IGTV and she was like, the fact that I have to do this right now.
Yeah, she said it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's exhausting for her because she's expected to constantly be the voice for Black people in Bachelor Nation and the voice of anti-racism when we, in the positions of privilege as white people, should be the ones shouldering that burden, and it's just not being done. And it's really, I don't know, it's just it was really upsetting to me to see that. And also because of internalized racism, when you go through any of Rachel Lindsay's comments, it's people are calling her the angry Black woman trope. And so unfortunately, she's not even going to reach maybe some of the people that need to be reached, which is why other people need to speak up, because she has already been labeled by so many people, Bachelor Nation fans, as just being the angry black woman who attacks everyone. And
not the fucking lawyer who's just good at presenting an argument, so you just get slammed by her sometimes.
Because Rachel's always the fucking voice of reason about everything.
The voice of reason.
She's always the voice of reason.
Yes.
And sorry, people who watching the YouTube, I'm getting up on a pillow. And she's not afraid, and she's not afraid of the backlash. And I understand why. I do understand why people don't say shit, because the nastiness that I'm seeing in DMs and comments is insane, that was what was really disturbing, is people are putting in so much energy to attack someone, saying it's not okay for this person to say the N-word, and that people are then channeling anger towards someone saying that's not right, instead of channeling. It's mind blowing.
I was so disheartened yesterday, and I just felt so sick to my stomach because I just listen, here's the thing. I get it. I get that a lot of people love Hannah. I think it's totally fine. Be a stan, support your person. I'm all about like having like someone that you're a fan of and standing by them. But at the end of the day, when someone does something wrong, no matter how much of a fan you are, you cannot justify their actions when it's wrong. And what I was seeing so much of was, it's like, listen, I get it. Like, I was so bummed out. Like, I really like Hannah. I've said it before. She was my favorite Bachelorette. I thought it was the best season. When I saw that, I was so upset and I was so disappointed at the situation. Like, I understand. But just because you are someone that you're a fan of is getting accused of something, or they do something wrong, you can't just blindly stand behind them. And it's the same way that I'll say this, broads. If I love the fact that so many of you all love our podcast and that you stand by us firmly. If I were to ever go on a live and do and say the N-word, I would hope that you guys
I would not be defended.
That you would not defend me, and that you would come into my DMs. And I understand, again, being a stan and not posting on your account, I've canceled her, fuck her, blah blah blah. But don't go after and defend her her bad behavior. But I would hope that you would slide into her DMs and kindly say, Hannah, we love you so much. We're such huge fans of us. You've inspired us in so many ways. But what happened?
Well,
Please.
And I also want to say, too, that especially for black and brown people, it's, and I saw a lot of this, too, of this, what's called tone policing, which is basically like, if you had said this nicer, then maybe you would get the point across. And I just want to say, too, especially for black and brown people, it's not their responsibility to coddle your emotions when you fuck up and do something hurtful. And also, my sister reminded me this yesterday, which I thought was a great reminder just in general. My sister was like, look, when someone apologizes for hurting you or doing something, just in general, she goes, you never have to say that's okay. And you never have to make them feel better because they're apologizing to you. All you have to say is thank you for acknowledging that behavior. And I thought that was just a really good reminder in general about healthy discourse. You know, if you hurt me, Jess, and you apologize, I don't have to try to make you feel better because you hurt me. Anyway, so I just wanted to address all that. And I just think, I'm not even talking to Hannah Brown, but like Bachelor Nation in general, do better. Do better. And expect more from us.
And it's, yes. And also just like,
we have so much responsibility and privilege in Bachelor Nation to be given platforms where we reach so many people. And we can use those platforms to hurt, or we can use them to educate. And I'm not saying any of this like, oh, I am the perfect use of my platform or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no. And I as someone who's not part of it and has been like a fan for so long. And, you know, I would say like this is just a grave reminder to me of the fact that like, and again, I know I just said it, but like just because you're a fan of someone doesn't mean that you stand by them blindly. And this is an incredible opportunity for someone in Bachelor Nation to apologize and to grow and then to use their platform, like Rachel Lindsay was saying. Hannah Brown has so many followers, almost 3 million.
I think she's the most of anyone in Bachelor Nation ever.
And even if, you know what, here's the thing. If you're a white person right now and you're coming at someone like Rachel Lindsay in the comments or whoever and saying like, why is it okay that a rapper can write that or say that word in lyrics and like they, you know, they're not expecting us just to not say it and blah, 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 blah. It's like, listen, before you open your mouth and write that, do yourself a favor and look into shit. Do research. Look
Google
into history.
Google search.
Google.
Why can't white people say the N-word?
There are
Just
plenty
Google it.
of like explanations that are right there. Like it's very simple. It's at our fingertips to find out. And instead of just closing your eyes and blindly ignoring it and just trying to come up with excuses as to why it's okay, because it would make you feel better, I guess. I don't know. And it's easier for you to digest. I don't know. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get that either. I'm also like, why can't you just take it at face value and say like, okay, I'm not gonna say the N-word as a white person, and I'm gonna expect other white people don't. Maybe just I don't know. I also just want to say it's okay, and it's part of doing work to that like anti-racist work is to look at what kind of internalized racism you have yourself.
Yes.
And it's okay to acknowledge that. And it's better, actually. I am always more concerned when people say, I'm not racist or I don't see color. And I'm like, okay, but you do. All of us have internalized racism within us, no matter if we're married to someone who's a person of color or who have adopted a black child. We all have, because of the society and culture we live in, some kind of internalized racism. So starting just with acknowledging ourselves and not, it's not about pointing fingers and saying like, I'm perfect and they're not. Mm-hmm. It's saying like, we have to hold everyone else accountable, including ourselves.
Yes.
And like you said, I would hope that people would hold us accountable equally.
And
like
the thing is,
exactly like you said.
It's happened on our show. This has happened before where we've said something that has hurt someone or they found offensive. And when I can't tell you when someone has kindly slid into my DMs or even when they're angry, like both. I have come face to face with some serious shit that I have buried deep inside that I've had to really take time to really dive into and do my research. And I'm on a journey right now trying to rewire a lot of shit. But I'm grateful for that. It was so crazy. I was looking through some of like Rachel Lindsay's posts and then a few other Bachelor Scoop type things. And I saw specifically 2 friends of mine who I grew up with comment unsavory things. And, I don't want to shit on Orange County, but at the end of the day, it's mostly white. There are very few black people, let alone people of color in general in Orange County. And it's a very privileged place, like wealth-wise and all this. It's a bubble. It's the orange bubble. And when I saw that, I was hit like a ton of bricks. And I think maybe that's why I felt like just a certain way all day, because I was reminded of so many things that I used to say and things that I thought. And I'm thinking if this would have happened a certain amount of years ago, how would I have responded?
100%.
Here. And I'm really, really grateful for people like you, people like our listeners who have been able to speak into my life and other people in my life. But it doesn't happen without effort.
It doesn't happen over. No, the things that I think now are not the same as I thought a year ago, 2 years ago, definitely not 10 years ago. And as you were saying this, I'm thinking of all the shit I used to say on Facebook, that I used to say in friends in passing all the time. And the things that I've done wrong continually up until now. Shit we've said on our show, even in the past year and a half. I mean, no one is without fault. But until we can be in that place of discomfort, if we can't go to that place of discomfort, it's hopeless.
Yeah.
But
what an intro for Listen to Your Heart.
And now let's get into the shittiest
finale ever.
Finale.
Oh my God. But for real, broads, please, if you have not watched Rachel Lindsay's IGTV, it is up on her Instagram. It's saved in her IGTV. I think that was it. She couldn't have put it better. So,
and also, you know, this plays out for all of us in our daily lives too. And so it's so beyond calling out someone, you know, on the internet. What are you going to say when your friend makes that passing comment? What are you going to say when the family member says something? I mean, like, how are you going to do your part to work to acknowledge these things? So,
well, anywho, after that,
there's no good way to segue out. So I'm just gonna acknowledge that.
I will. We'll talk maybe a little bit more of Bachelor tea for like 2 more seconds before we segue.
Oh yeah, do you have any other tea?
I mean, the only tea, there's 2 pieces of tea, and it's not tea that I have, but Bachelor Nation news is that Peter, I don't know if you saw this on his Insta stories, him and Kelley are back in Los Angeles, PDAing it up. And
I saw it on TMZ. I didn't see it on their stories.
Well,
though.
he posted a story of him jumping on some like broken tree up and down kind of like violently. And it was like, whoa, Peter, what you doing? And then the next Insta story was a huge bandage on his head. And I know myself, and we were like, no, I'm like,
up.
Peter, on your face. And I was screaming. Well, it turns out he ended up he got like microneedling done to his scar. I'm sure he's trying to,
of course he did,
diminish it.
Stop.
In the COVID times, you got to microneedle that shit. But
oh my God.
But I was at first when I saw it, I immediately almost sent it to you, and then I saw the following thing. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought he injured himself again jumping on this tree with Kelley, and I was like,
it's hilarious though. He's trying to microneedle it away.
I mean, I'm not a
This
doctor,
is a defining moment
but
in
I'm
your
not
life.
a doctor. Maybe it's some sort of something for the healing process. I don't know. But when I hear microneedling, I think like diminishing the scar. And I'm like, Peter, you look way hotter with the scar. Keep the scar, honey. Keep that scar.
Yeah, it was a moment in time that is preserved forever, immortalized
it really was.
Through the scar.
There are so many. Chris Harrison's tears are in that scar. I swear to God. And speaking of looking hotter, did you see Ari's hair?
Yeah, the
bleach,
the kind of like peachy bleach.
Yeah.
Situation and the cut.
So I was getting a ton of DMs, people being like, oh my God, look at how horrible, what a mess. And I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't think it looks bad at all. I was like, wow, first of all, Lauren should go into the men's hair business. Secondly, he looks great.
I was like, am I attracted to Ari Jr.?
I plead the fifth on this one, but
no,
I will
please
say it does,
don't answer, my God.
It does not look bad.
I thought he looked hot as hell, I'll say it, and everyone sending me the messages were just like, roast him for this, and I was like, there's nothing to roast because I feel a certain sort of way about it. I don't know what to tell you.
We live in Los Angeles.
Honestly, everyone's hair is bleach. I don't know what anyone's actual color looks like anymore. It's almost just kind of like
15 to 70. Like that's what?
I don't know if I could. I'm like, my brain's rewired to like not be attracted unless it's bleached hair at this point.
I feel like every other guy here has like some sort of bleached buzz that's like neon green.
They go through the
or
phase.
Something
Everyone
like that.
has to go through the phase for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But I just had to say that because everyone was just like, I feel like doesn't this look terrible? You know, go like come for him for the hair. And I'm like, open your minds, okay? Educate yourself. It is gorgeous, okay?
Educate yourself on style.
He is looking like a 10 out of 10 zaddy, okay? You don't like it, that's fine. I now attracted to Ari Jr. Didn't think it was going to happen. Here we are, okay?
I think weren't you already, though, from Emily's season?
I was okay with him. I was excited when I found out he was going to be the Bachelor because I was like, oh, he's a little older.
Yeah.
You know, anytime they're a little older, you know, mom is happy.
Well, speaking of older, I've been seeing some trailers for the new series.
Yes. We have a few.
The new Bachelor series where they're going over the Bachelor Best. I saw a lot of JoJo cuts.
Lots of JoJo. We saw Caitlyn. We saw Sean. We saw
a little bit of Juan Pablo. We saw Jason. Which, of course, because Claire.
We have to have Juan Pablo on. We saw Ben, I believe. Some Ben.
Yes, I did see a lot of Ben,
Did we see some Nick or no?
No, and this is why I'm like I think there's a couple episodes they might be doing first. Like maybe Sean and maybe JoJo. I just saw like 1 or 2 trailers that just seem to have a lot of cuts from JoJo's season. So I'm wondering if that's going to be one of the first episodes.
Yeah, I was on the floor, by the way, because I saw Bachelor, like whatever, their Instagram posted that trailer, and Nick was like, "Oh, great!" And I was thinking about it, and I was like, "Oh my god, if they don't show Nick's season of The Bachelor, they're just showing him as like villain guy that like all these
on Andy and Caitlyn's. Oh, I did see a little bit of Allie.
Yes. Oh, Allie. And I'm excited because that means we get to get reintroduced to Frank. Where are you at, Frank? Reveal yourself.
Well, it is sort of embarrassing for some of these people. Like, not embarrassing. That's a exaggerated use of the word. But like, Ben and Lauren.
Yeah.
Nick and Vanessa. Probably a lot of people who don't really want to be reminded of these relationships.
No, are you kidding me? There's so many people who are new viewers, and it's like, I thought that part of my life had died. I thought we had gotten over that hump, and now I got to do this all over. Oh my gosh, no. Well, we do have broads. Prepare yourself because, we'll definitely be having some of these Bachelor Nation folk hop on to some recaps with us. Already gotten a couple messages from some people who are old Batch Nation royalty who want to participate, who are their season is going to be shown because ABC hasn't blocked us from them because their contracts are expired.
Because they're irrelevant now. Just kidding.
Love you all. But anyway, so it'll be fun and I'm very excited. But before we get into the topic at hand, after that long soliloquy or whatever type of phrase you'd like to, I don't know, soliloquy?
I think that sounds nice.
It sounds nice.
I don't know if that's what it means.
I'm not sure. But broads, let's pause for a moment because we have to talk about this. We all have those days when you're too busy to make a meal that's healthy, or let's be honest, you just don't feel like it. Trust me, I get it. This is why I'm obsessed with Daily Harvest, because when those days do happen, they've more than got you covered. Daily Harvest delivers delicious, clean food right to your door that just takes minutes to prepare. Minutes. Like, we're talking less than 5, okay?
Mm-hmm. Daily Harvest is our most trusted meal source, baby. They've got pre-prepped meals for on the go. Even if that just means going from your couch to your dinner table. I don't know. I've been on the go a lot around this 1,000 square foot pad of mine.
I'm a busy bee around this.
I am darting from the bathroom to the kitchen. Daily Harvest never uses preservatives. Also, no added sugars, no artificial ingredients. I can rest assured that whatever I'm eating myself or feeding to my family is the best quality and good for everyone. So there's no need to second thought or do a deep dive into the ingredients list just to make sure all those ingredients are listed right on the side. And as a soon-to-be mom of 2, I can't tell you how great that feeling is. Literally every single ingredient, I'm like, yep. That's all things I want me and my fam to be eating. And sure.
When I wasn't a health queen and I'm seeing all these ingredients that I've never seen before, looking them up, and I'm like, wow, I should be putting that in my body. This is exciting. This is new for me. And speaking of kiddos, that's one of the things I love about Daily Harvest. So much of what they have to offer is kid and parent approved. My daughter Ember loves the Daily Harvest smoothies, all of them really, but her current favorite is the strawberry peach one. We mix it with a little bit of oat milk for her, and she says it tastes like ice cream. She loves it. Plus, in the end, I know she's getting extra servings of fruit. It's a win-win. And lately, Evan's been using the Harvest Bowls and adding some protein for it for dinner, and it's like these these meals that are gourmet that would typically take like, I don't know, 40 minutes to make. He has ready in like 5 or 10 minutes with that extra protein.
Yeah.
Daily Harvest.
Yeah, you can really jazz
You
them up
really
pretty-
can. You
pretty-
see a Harvest Bowl and you go, this is a delicious Harvest Bowl. And you add something to it like the egg
That's
or
my
some-
recommendation.
Oh, it's
not
so
necessary, but
It's not
yeah.
necessary, but man, once he started to
The
do
little
that.
sriracha, the egg and sriracha is the easiest
I was like,
go-to.
I didn't know I was married to a chef. This is fantastic. Daily Harvest has been a staple in my life since everything in our lives changed. So grateful for them.
And it's also such a great gift, broads. I think it's a great way to bless a parent or a grandparent or maybe a friend who just gave birth. I think people are always asking me what to give people for their baby shower or something like that. Daily Harvest subscription,
Girl.
you know that's going to be put to use.
Girl, it's my go-to now. That is my go-to
It's-
whenever someone has a baby. I send them and they're always like,
so useful.
your gift was my favorite. I'm like, you're welcome.
Yes. Yes. You might not be able to see them in person, but at least you can send them some love and care through Daily Harvest. So you can go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code chatty to get $25 off your first box. That's promo code chatty for $25 off your first box at dailyharvest.com. Dailyharvest.com.
All right, listen, bitch, we are literally like 40 minutes into this episode already. But you know what? We had more important things to talk about. And honestly, like, again, could there have been a more boring finale? Like, I was so upset. And one of the main reasons that it was the most boring finale ever is because the one part that I was excited about, AKA Matt and Rudy, got cut within the first like 10 minutes.
Gray and I were holding on to hope so hard that they would bring them back around for a surprise performance.
Oh my God. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm so glad I didn't even have that thought because I would have been even more disappointed.
See, that was the hope that was alive in my heart for so long.
What a beautiful
and-
glimmer.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Becca.
Also, producers, do your goddamn job. Why did you talk them into leaving? Talk them into staying, you dumb bitches.
Was it a budget thing? I don't understand. Like why? I was very confused about everything that was going on. By the way, I heard, or someone sent me a snippet from Matt. I think it was on, I don't know if he was on Caitlin's podcast or it was on someone's Bachelor Nation's podcast. And he said that little moment that him and Rudy had together where they got to spend the night in like Hotel California.
Yes,
Adele,
I saw this.
that they just asked for it.
They asked for it.
And the producers provided. So like, what is the deal with producers on this show?
They should be fired.
They should be
I bet some of them
fired.
were my producers. Some of them are probably my friends. But
Listen, you're letting these people go rogue, okay?
granted, they have no job right now. So
Cause them more drama. Make this more difficult, okay? You can't just provide fantasy suite dates for these people whenever they want them.
I mean, what ended up happening halfway through this episode is I was like, I don't care if Bree or Chris or Trevor or Jamie
I didn't care.
wins.
I didn't care. And
Why
and
would
I feel
I?
bad saying it, but it's just like I pretty much would have been more interested with anyone else in the top. And I'm not saying that they weren't incredibly
Keep Julia and Brandon on.
That's the thing. I'm not saying that they weren't incredibly talented. That's not the case. What I'm saying is there was
Well, I'm gonna say that.
There were okay. She said it, not me. There was zero drama, and we needed a little bit of something. There was zero drama.
The Bree and Chris drama they tried to manufacture was weak.
They tried it. It was so weak, and it was just like, give us Brandon and Julia, give us Matt and Rudy, give us Natasha and Ryan, just for like, you know, the joy of being able to stare at both of them and hear them perform. Like,
yeah, because their performances would have been fire. They just had one fluke.
I was very upset about it. Well, I mean, they're in Nashville now, and Trevor makes some comments saying that he's planning to move to Nashville because Jamie lives there, and I was like,
oh, I was like, wait,
this
sorry,
is swift.
I had to rewind it because I was like, what?
I'm like, I feel like, here's the thing. Becca and I are not going to get into where these couples are at in this episode because we're waiting to find out some final stuff. On Thursday's episode, we are going to have a fun special guest. We are still in between. Okay, we can't tell you, broads, who it's going to be yet. We're getting it figured out right now. But point is at the top of
It's going to be good either way.
It's going to be good either way, okay? But at the
we
top,
got two options
we got
right now.
two great options that are being discussed. But at the top of the episode, we will talk about where the couples are at after they've posted more and we get more information.
Where are they now?
Where are they now?
Yeah. Okay. So,
but do you think? Can you imagine if he actually like? What if we were misreading this the whole time? I don't buy it, and I don't think we were. Yeah, but can you imagine if all of a sudden it was like actually like I'm head over heels in love with her, and I've moved to Nashville?
You know, by the end, I was really confused, and I'm like, I don't know if you like her or not. I really don't.
I know. I felt distraught. I definitely think that they had good sex.
I think so too. He seemed pretty happy the next
morning. He seemed very relaxed.
He seemed real happy. I did notice that. I was like,
I'm like, maybe this was what put it over the edge for him. Maybe he was like, I don't know if I can handle Jamie. I don't know. She's got a lot of nervous energy. And then
he's like, okay, she's also got 21-year-old energy. So
and let me tell you.
He's got sorority girl. She's got sorority girl energy. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like we're usually pretty good at reading that. I mean, obviously our if we had to probably pick, we'd probably say that he's not into her.
I would assume that maybe he enjoyed having sex with her and he thinks that she's very pretty, and I would be shocked.
I don't see them making it in the real world.
I would be shocked if they were still together. My guess is that he broke up with her. This is my guess. He broke up with her 3 weeks after they were done filming. Okay? And he said, it's the distance. I don't know if I'm ready to leave or blah, 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 blah. Made an excuse for it. She was, of course, upset. But in his Trevor way, he somehow made her feel like it was a mutual decision. And she's going to be super like, I support him. I love him. We're friends, blah, blah, blah. Even though you know it was because he worded it a certain way to make her feel like, they both needed it for both of their careers. And it was because he didn't want to be tied down. That's my guess.
Yeah, that would make that makes sense actually. Yeah, she's like, no, we both decided we're just going in different directions. Meanwhile, she's just devastated.
Yeah, but I don't think that she's going to be like, oh my God, fuck him.
No.
I think that she's got that vibe where it's like, she's going to be supportive.
Or is he going to move to Nashville with her and then just be pursuing other pursuits on the side?
I don't know. I definitely think Nashville's a better call for him in general. I do. I'm surprised he doesn't live there.
Well, I was going to say, maybe he's already planning on it. And then he's like, yeah, it's for Jamie. I'm so in love with her. I'm going to move there to be with her.
Let's continue this narrative. Turns out it's been part of his plans for the past 8 months.
I mean, the good thing for them is they didn't really miss out on anything since there's no tour happening.
I know. And you know what I was thinking about too? Because afterwards, their reaction, they were like still big smiles. And he was like, I love her and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hold on a second. Trevor Fame of American Idol. If you know anything about American Idol, you know it's better to come in second place than first. Because if you're in first place, you were under American Idol contract record deal for years and it sucks. Second place,
10 years.
Always, or 10 years. Holy shit. Even crazier. Yeah. Second place, always better. Always better to come in second place.
Yeah, look at Adam Lambert touring with fucking Kiss.
Or Queen. Even much larger.
Queen still tours?
Well,
I'm confused.
He's now, he's replaced Freddie Mercury.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was like opening for... No, he's playing Freddie Mercury's part, like in Queen?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, unless I'm like fully off base on this one. I mean, now I have to look it up, so I'm not like, no. But I'm pretty sure.
Oh no, you're right. It's like John Mayer and the Dead kind of situation. You're totally right. It's Queen and Adam Lambert.
Queen and Adam Lambert. Can you believe?
Damn, that's so sick.
That's the dopest thing ever. He's like, I've got second place on American Idol, and now, and look at what the guy's probably doing who got first place. Whatever his name was, Chris something.
Yeah.
I think he did what one song did well, but Adam Lambert is thriving. Listen, second place always kills it. I think even like Ruben stuttered and Clay Aiken. I remember that year. And Ruben got like one song that did okay, and Clay Aiken had a successful career for a hot minute afterwards.
Well, Dreamgirls, what's her name?
Oh, gosh. Oh my God.
Why can't I think
Why
of
am I
her fucking
blanking on her name?
Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson.
Fucking Jennifer Hudson.
I think she might have even gotten third. I could be wrong on this.
No, I think she did too.
How dare they? Are you kidding me? And this girl has like what, an Oscar now? I mean,
Yeah, wait. No, she placed 7th.
What? 7th?
Yeah.
Oh.
7th place.
You know this girl is laughing her way to sleep every single night. Like those stupid idiots. They passed on me. These people didn't vote for me, and I have every sort of award under the sun now, okay? Everyone can calm down.
And then I'm also like, okay, so like who won? Who won?
Yeah, that season, seriously. What was her season?
Do we have to do American Idol recaps?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't hate it. I would actually love to do an American Idol recap.
I know, me too, actually. Who are these people? Diana did Jarmo and Fantasia Barrino?
Oh, Fantasia was amazing. And Diana, I think, is now doing like either E or she does, I could be totally wrong, but I think she does like pop culture news now. A lot of people had made successful careers, but they're not touching Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, they're not household names.
Oh, they're not household names. No. Not like...
Well, and then, of course, Kelly Clarkson's obviously still killing it.
Yes, and she won first. But after her...
Yeah, and Carrie Underwood, too. There's definitely been a few that have come out of there. But you know what?
The theory is that it's better to get second. It's better to get second because then you're not under that contract and you can go with whoever is throwing you the biggest offer. So point is, maybe Trevor is like, oh, you know what? I'm coasting in second place because I know how American Idol works. I'm going to get that second place slot, get a record deal all on my lonesome because maybe they're under some sort of record contract obligation after the show where they have to be together and they have to be a pair. Maybe Trevor's like, I'm just going to get my own record deal now. Or he's in love with her and we're totally off. But...
either way, it's still probably the better position to be in.
Probably.
So, I mean, what happens? Let's see.
They're in Nashville, and then that's when Chris Harrison tells the couples that they're going to be performing 2 songs, but then they're also going to have a date that's going to include the fantasy suite. And then Chris Harrison's like, well, if you're...
Chris called out Jamie, by the way. He's like,
called her out.
He's like, unless you're a Bachelor Nation fan like Jamie, none of you else know what this is, but Jamie here is such a thirsty-ass fan.
Becca.
He straight up made it sound like that. I was like...
he called her out a couple times, I feel like, during this episode.
I know.
Like, singled her out.
I know. In the end, in the finale show, he's like, Jamie, who could barely stand on stage without shitting her pants the first week.
Chris Harrison's like, fucking Natasha should be here right now.
This is a travesty. This is an injustice.
Oh, actually,
Dude,
you know what?
So funny.
Chris Harrison actually was probably so devastated that Matt and Rudy were gone because they sang "Shallow." There was a broad squad member who in one of our latest posts commented this, and I'm so sorry I don't know your handle because I was laughing so hard. And she said, after Chris Harrison said that about Jamie, all I could think about was her comment. She goes, Jamie gives me like the energy of that she's a niece of one of the producers, and the producers are like,
I saw that too. The niece of one of the producers, and they're trying to further her musical career.
So that comment sent me. I'm so sorry I don't remember what your handle is. It was so funny.
Dude, okay, so what? Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. So, first of all, it's hilarious when they get to this grandma-ass hotel in Nashville and everyone's just swooning over it.
It's like...
I mean, it's nice, but I'm like, what? Are we going to pretend that this is like the Ritz-Carlton?
Trevor's just like, Kennedy was here. Wilson was here. Nixon was here. I was like, did Watergate happen here or not? Oh, wait, that was Watergate Hotel, I think, right? I don't know.
Oh, was it? I don't know. Either way, they haven't decorated since all of those historical things happened. Yes, that's for sure.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise. Matt's panicking again.
Surprise.
I was cringing so hard when they're opening up the envelopes.
Oh, gosh.
And Jamie is deciding to sing out loud every single song that they read off.
Oh, my God. There was a lot of cringing for me in this episode, Becca. I'm not going to lie to you. It was tough. It was a tough one. Normally, like, my cringing in this series has been able to be displaced by other elements that I've enjoyed, and this one didn't have much of those, so I was just left with, like, cringe city.
Like I said, I kept holding out hope that there was going to be some twist.
Yeah.
It never came.
No. It was cringe city and music city, baby.
Rudy and Matt, do we talk about them?
Yeah.
Is that what we go on to next?
I mean, well, before them, I guess there's the moment, like, we're basically shown where all the other couples are at, where Trevor and Jamie have their, like, intimate moment together. Chris and Bree, you see him declaring his love for her without her asking about it. And without her prodding. Bree is planning their future with the home studio.
Oh, I know.
And the many children.
Oh, you better believe I noted that. I'm like, oh, the home studio. Okay. Where in the house what colors are you decorating with?
What are the wedding colors? Very nice. Then of course they're cutting. I could not handle how they're having the scene of them
Chris singing
and Bree.
Make You Feel My Love.
Yep. And then
putting it over the scenes with Rudy and Matt.
Wandering around the hotel.
It was kind of fantastic. I was kind of loving it.
The editing, it was fantastic, but it was just so like, oh my God. And then we see Matt and Rudy,
but you know what? Okay, Rudy said they're sitting down. He says he feels like he can't be at the point everyone else is at, which feels fair to me considering Bree's over there planning their home studio setup. And Jamie, I don't even know what to say about Jamie and Trevor, but feels totally fair that Matt's feeling a little bit like I'm not really where everyone else is.
Completely.
Rudy is like, we don't fake anything. We don't have to be like them. We're real. And I was like, I feel that.
Yes.
I feel that. And Rudy and Matt, to me, had the most hope in the real world of a successful relationship and a successful music career.
I might have walked away from this conversation even as a Matt and Rudy stan.
For sure. Me too.
And it was very different from their first conversation together, or their first argument together, like week 1 or 2, which
that was
I
just
liked.
So petty and dumb.
It was cool to see. You saw how much their relationship has grown in just the course of this discussion. He was way more communicative. He really explained what he was processing.
He was really patient.
She got upset for a second and then gave an apology that I don't think she even needed to give. But she then was like, okay, here's how I'm at, and I'm sorry I reacted this way.
Yeah, and she's also saying, like, I'm not mad at you. Like, I'm not, like, mad at you. I don't know. She was...
It was, like, a very, very healthy Bachelor Nation moment. And... I felt for Matt big time because I thought, I got to give the guy some major props here, because what would have been easy to do is to be like, fuck it. And, because I understood both sides. I understood what Rudy was saying, and that's probably the way that I would have gone. I would have gone like, okay, we don't have to say that we're ending this thing madly in love with each other, but let's at least perform. We both like each other, right? Like, we're vibing with each other. Let's perform and we can go from there. But Matt was just uncomfortable not being like as far along as the other couples were. And I think because Matt is probably not a Bachelor Nation viewer, he took what Chris Harrison said as like gold. He was like, okay, if I'm not in love and I'm not ready to move forward permanently with her, I cannot accept this responsibility. Because Chris Harrison says it's a big responsibility as the first title holder of Listen to Your Heart, ABC.
He's like, I'm expecting they're going to force us to get engaged at the end of this. And quite honestly, I'm just not ready to make that commitment.
He's like, what other twist are they going to throw at us all of a sudden? Where they're like, he's like, I just thought this was going to be a music audition show. Now I'm falling in love with someone. Now I'm having to go on the road with them and accept a record label or a record deal together. I don't know if I'm ready to get married.
I mean, I was like, wait, but got really confused though. I was like, is he leaving? Are they breaking up? I mean, they kind of separate again. Matt sits her down again and he tells her that he cares, but he can't get there to the point where you're saying that he thinks Chris Harrison is expecting of them.
Yes.
And they both leave. And it was actually so sad.
It was
seeing both of them leave in their cars.
It was the worst, Becca. I was so upset. I was this. If we wouldn't have had to recap this, by the way, for all of our beautiful broad squad, I would have turned the TV
Turned it off.
and I would have been like, all right.
No, I wouldn't have because I thought they were going to reunite. I really did.
God, it was so. It took. Always been a fan in certain ways and in certain moments of the two of them. It really took losing them to make me realize how much I liked both of them. Okay.
Me too.
I had to lose them to realize my love.
I know.
And that's how it goes sometimes. You know what I mean?
That's just love, isn't it? But okay, honestly, I was telling Gray, I was like, they have the realest relationship. Like they're muddling through all of this mess that is love.
They play with each other. They laugh with each other. They ask the producers if they can go and spend the night somewhere else. They're doing their own thing. They're on their own path. This is their own journey.
This is their journey. Okay, people?
ABC cannot confine it. Also, I'm so sorry. The two of them will have very successful careers. They will be like Ryan and Natasha.
I hope.
They're going to be fine. I mean,
I hope I loved watching their performances, and I was really looking forward to watching the performances.
Well, when they decided to leave and then they go back into the room with Jamie and Trevor and Rudy says, I'm gonna go, and Jamie shrieks no, like no, and I'm like, okay, first of all, what about though, like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, what's going on? It was just like, no, are you leaving right now? I'm like, even though she's upset, in the back of her head, she's like, thank God.
I said the couples are pretending to be all sad.
They knew.
That was their biggest competition.
By a mile. And especially the fact that the judges haven't been there week to week watching. It's like, oh, they don't know that maybe, or they're not Chris Harrison, so they don't know the behind the scenes drama that Matt and Rudy are like, that they've been kind of arguing and on and off. Like, you see one performance of the two of them and you're like, these two have chemistry that is beyond explanation, okay?
Yeah.
This is otherworldly chemistry.
Exactly. And also, you know what? Not only did I think they were going to reunite, but when Matt's watching that limo going away and the way he's watching it leave, I was like, chase after her, have your rom-com moment.
Oh God, it hurt so bad. When they went down the elevator and they were in the hotel leaving, and all of a sudden they turn the corner and the music starts playing. I was convinced that they were going to turn the corner and there was going to be a live band set up in the middle of the hotel playing like Shallow, and they were going to have to like confront their musical chemistry and be like, this isn't the time right now, guys. Like, we're trying to leave. And I thought that they were going to have this moment where they would try to stop them by engaging them musically. But there was nothing, just an empty hotel hallway.
And missed opportunities.
So many missed opportunities. And
okay, well,
and also Rudy, those first two episodes, she was having a rough time. She's doing a little bit of snapping, and all of a sudden you see her in the car leaving, and she is so calm and like resilient, and it was a beautiful moment. And then we see Matt, and he's crying, and then I got teary-eyed when he was talking about like his biggest regret is the fact that he's stopping her from having the opportunity to perform again and have more people see her. And that's the real shit. That's the real love, where it's like, I want people to be able to see her perform again. I'm like, yes, we all want to see her perform again, Matt. You took that away from us, but I understand.
Hopefully, I hope they get back together, or they're still together, or whatever. I was a little confused on the state of their relationship because I felt like they were sort of breaking up, but not really.
They left us like the same deal with the Ryan and Natasha shit. I think ABC is trying to do witchcraft on our brains and be like, no one can be truly confirmed together except Chris and Bree. Because no one has come out and like confirmed anything about their relationships.
True.
And it's like, are you guys just trying to mess with our heads and be like, this is the only one that worked? How dare they?
Good point.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they've specifically been told not to release the status of the relationship. I don't know, but let's take a pause and then continue on.
Yes, let us take a moment. Okay, so something I've been making a bigger effort to do in 2020 is learn how to work smarter, not harder, broads. Okay, that's been the goal. Work smarter, not harder.
You go.
I mean, life is hard enough. If we can simplify things in any way, I say yes and amen. And that's why I'm so thankful for Thrive Market, especially at a time like this. Not only do I get high quality groceries delivered to my door for a fraction of the cost I was paying in stores, but I'm doing some good at the same time thanks to their social good initiatives. Both are things I would be wanting to do anyways, and then combining them just makes sense.
I really like Thrive. It can definitely be difficult to hone in and narrow down exactly how to help when there's just so much that needs to be done, and with so many people that need help right now. But Thrive Market, they're doing stuff. They give back in some way at every level of service. So when you pay for a membership, they match that membership and give one to someone in need, like a low-income family or a teacher or a first responder. They always do that. They've started a specific COVID-19 fund. They're carbon neutral shipping. Anyway, there's a lot of good in Thrive Market's practices, and it makes me feel good about shopping with them. And they also have a really good selection of stuff.
Oh, such a good
just
selection.
placed an order the other day. Yeah.
Such a good selection. Another added perk of shopping with Thrive Market is that they make it so easy to shop for specific dietary needs or restrictions. And even by different food values, with their filter function, you can easily find products that are, for example, keto friendly or vegan, or products that are strictly non-GMO or non-toxic. With Thrive Market, catering to specific eaters or finding foods that follow your dietary needs just became the easiest thing in the world. A bounty of incredible products, broads. And when I say at a fraction of the cost, it is shocking. These are nice, high-quality brands and products that at other stores cost much more. After I discovered Thrive Market, I got their membership, and I have never looked back because it financially made such a big difference. I didn't have to sacrifice quality anymore just because of price points.
No, yeah. So you should try Thrive Market and become a member risk-free. You go to thrivemarket.com/chatty. And if you join today, you'll get up to $20 in shipping credit. Shopping credit, not shipping credit. You'll get $20 of free shopping credit towards your first order. That's spelled THRIVE market.com/chatty to start your risk-free membership. And you can get up to $20 towards your first order. That's thrivemarket.com/chatty. And okay, so this next advertiser, I just had 2 people DM me about it the other day asking what's the CBD brand that you guys talk about on the podcast.
Been getting a lot of DMs about this in the past couple weeks, that's for sure. And a lot of, from a lot of people. And speaking of a lot of people, especially right now, I know personally, I've had some trouble falling asleep from time to time. Actually, a little trouble is an understatement of the year. It's more fair to say that falling asleep feels like an impossible task some nights. And is there anything more annoying than laying awake, staring at the ceiling for hours, only to finally doze off and wake up the next morning feeling like you didn't sleep at all, and couple that with a load of anxiety? I don't think so. And that's why you'll find Feels CBD on my nightstand every night of the week. It's the only thing that's really helped me fall asleep quickly and wake up feeling rested. And it's been there to help curb my anxiety so much lately.
Feels is premium CBD that's delivered directly to your doorstep, and it's so simple to use. All you have to do is place a few drops of Feels underneath your tongue as needed, and within minutes you'll start to feel the effects. I really like this because you can adjust your dosage since it's a tincture versus like little pills. You can decide how much you want. And if you already know CBD works for you, you can join this Feels community to get delivery every month, which means you save money on every order. So if you're going through that CBD like nobody's business right now, get the Feels subscription.
Exactly. And if you've never tried CBD before, you have no idea where to start, it's all good because Feels has real human support ready to walk you through all their...
Yeah, which is great.
It's so nice.
So many questions.
There's so many questions. They have the CBD hotline and it's free, and you can get all your questions answered. It's just really the best experience. Feels is amazing. And if you've been suffering from stress, chronic pain, anxiety, or sleep deprivation, you are not alone. but there's help out there. Feels is such an incredible solution to combat all your problems and get you feeling good again. I've gotten so many messages, like we were saying. The broads have been filling up the DMs lately who've been really grateful for Feels. A lot of broads who have ordered it in the past, and they are really loving it right now. So thank you so much, Feels.
Feels has us feeling our best every day, and it can help you too. So you can become a member today by going to feels.com/chatty, and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. Now that's FEALS.com, okay, /chatty. That's where you can become a member and get 50% off, automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. That's FEALS.com/chatty.
Love Feels. Truly been one of my heroes of the past 2.5 months.
I know. And whenever I used to go over to Jess's house to record, I'd be like, whenever I'd have a headache, I'd be like, do you have any Feels?
Bring on
in
the
your
Feels,
cabinet?
baby.
And can I use it? Thank you.
Okay, so should we talk about Jamie and Trevor's date?
Yes. So everyone's stoked as fuck that Rudy and Matt are gone.
Yes. The people are celebrating.
Like, wow, how sad. Oh my God, this is crazy.
So terrible.
And they're like,
thank God. We have a chance. Yeah, Jamie and Trevor then have their date, and I'll be real with you, I don't remember much. I was just looking at that cheese board like, goddamn, they know how to make a cheese board on this show, and I was just ready to dive bomb into that.
I'll sum it up. She said she's lacked in confidence in the past. He says he wants to risk it all with her. Mm-hmm. He says everything he needs to get her to the fantasy suite. Wasn't much.
Yeah.
No shade to her. Shade to her.
Oh, I remember him saying he had walls up because of past experiences. And I was like, what does that mean?
So do your ex-girlfriends.
Are you talking about the ex with the emotional cheating scandal, or what's the deal? Now I have to know. And if I would have been Jamie, my question would have been, that's so good to hear, Trevor, that you feel like you're letting your walls down. Can you tell me what exact past experiences and relationships you've had that have put your walls up?
Damn, you're harsh, sis.
Listen, you do not want to date me. It is not easy, and I have never claimed to be an easy girlfriend, or especially.
I claimed that.
I'm easy once we're together, but getting there, oh no. I have many questions.
I'm easy once we're together for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Anything before that's, you never know.
Now, I've never heard from anyone that I'm easy, but I like to say that I'm an easy girlfriend. No one's ever said that about me, but I know they're all thinking it.
I will say I think most, except the bitter ones, I think most of my exes still like me after we've broken up. Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone, except that one person, but I hate them too. I don't think anyone's going to be like, wow, I regret dating her.
Yeah, I think mine were all like friends with me until the podcast, and I have dropped random stories about certain ones of them, and they know that it's them.
Okay, can we talk about that for a minute? Because the feedback that we got about our date night episode with the boys was unprecedented.
It's one of the most, like, one of the episodes that we got some of the, like I don't know, the most posts with like people watching it. I don't know if it's like the highest listens, but I would just, I guess, encourage, if you haven't listened to it, people seem to really enjoy it.
People love it, and people want more. We'll have to do it again, at least another time.
I'm definitely down to, make it somewhat regular, because we had so much fun. We recorded it, and I was like, fun. Are people gonna like this? Like, I'm having a great time, but you all seem to enjoy it. So we'll definitely do another one, and this time we'll let it be known that we're going to be recording it, and we'll get a lot of questions. I
mean, the boys are just such attention whores. They both were just stealing the spotlight the whole time, but people were eating it up.
Honestly, I think one of the things that we'll do that would be maybe a good call is when you are first with the little one and you're in your early stages and like, I need to take some moments, maybe we'll just have them do an episode together alone.
Oh, you and I are going to have to listen front to back.
It'll get like edited down to like 2 minutes long. Maybe we'll just drop the 2-minute episode.
It's just them laughing like back and forth for like 15 minutes and then maybe some dialogue.
Yes. Anyways,
What can we have them talk about? That could be so funny. We could have them alone like talk about their relationships with us.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Or they could give advice, or we could just have them giving advice to people.
They could do a little bit of both. It could be a relationship episode. They could talk about ours for our relationships.
Yeah,
for a
people
little
could
bit,
ask them questions about us.
Broads, slide. Tell us in the comments below the meme or whatever we post. Do you want Evan and Gray to do an episode by themselves? I'm nervous about it, but
me too. But I will love listening to it.
Sorry about the tangents, broads. But to be honest with you, this episode was a snooze fest, so we have to distract in certain ways.
We got to put some space in between the third ad. We got to have some time after the third ad for the ending.
We don't want to smother you all with that. You know what I'm saying? My God.
Sorry. So I mean,
it seemed like they absolutely. Trevor and Jamie seemed like they absolutely had sex.
Well, she gives this exclamation, "I'm falling in love every day with you more and more," and then throws her arms around him. And then I think they went to Pound Town.
I think so too, especially after the fact that she
pulled out. It's so gross.
She pulled out the fantasy suite card, basically said, "Do you want to go?" And he was like, "I'm falling in love with you." And I'm like, well, everything was just solidified. You guys definitely had sex.
Well,
on the other
hand.
Oh, on quite the different other hand, we have Bree and Chris's date, and
she opens up saying she takes physical intimacy very seriously.
Well, and I forgot, Becca,
I'm having flashbacks,
that she is Mormon.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was waiting for this.
I totally forgot about it completely, which I also have some questions about. I don't know a lot about Mormonism. I'm curious about her being with someone who's not Mormon. Is that like frowned upon?
Oh no, I was just gonna say like it's like just based on some of my Mormon friends, it's like Christianity. There's tiers, you know.
Got it. Some people are more conservative and some people are more. Got it. Okay.
Right. I mean, the general consensus is like you're supposed to wait. I mean, there's the joke about Mormon anal, about people doing. It's the same joke about Christian anal. Like, you're supposed to be saving penetrative sex till marriage, all that kind of thing.
Okay.
I have Mormon friends, of course, that were doing the same thing Christian friends are doing of like, you know, oral until marriage, that kind of thing. And then I also have Mormon friends that are, they're just much less. Yeah, they're just more liberal.
Okay.
And they also maybe drink and have sex and stuff too.
Yes,
so it just depends.
Yes. Okay. Got it. That makes sense to me. Well, it then seemed like she was, on the more liberal side, but is planning on being intimate later physically, but maybe not quite yet. And maybe not on camera.
The thing that I've just noticed just from my Mormon friends that's a little bit different, that I think that's interesting, that's different from Christianity, is Mormon culture is much more okay with dating people who aren't Mormons.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, at least like in my Christian circle, it was very much like you're only supposed to date other Christians.
Okay.
That was my experience, kind of, at least.
Yeah. Oh no, that's how I was raised. It was like you do not date a non-Christian.
Yeah, but Mormons are a little bit more lax about that, just in my observation.
Got it.
Well, anyway,
she is nervous because she's planning on saying that they probably... Well, okay, so this is where then I was surprised. I thought that they were absolutely going to still go into the fantasy
suite. Do the
suite.
overnight, but not have sex. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was really thrown off when they just didn't even take advantage of the time alone.
Me too, because when she was leading in saying like, I want to get to know you on an emotional level, and he was saying, things have been rushed for him in the past. I thought that they would be like, well, let's just take this time to get to know each other more.
Or at least like sing at each other
camera.
for a couple hours off camera.
I'm sure they could just sing to each other all night. But maybe the temptation was too strong.
I guess. I was just, I was so surprised.
No fantasy suite for them.
No fantasy suite. And she explains that to him and he is A-okay with it. It seems.
But then what was going on the next day?
Becca,
what happened?
What happened? Okay.
And how did it get resolved to the point where they won?
The only resolution seemed to be to the fact that they went out and did a good job performing and the judges liked it. And so now they were fine. Like, I was so confused. Like, they seemed so happy. He dropped her off at her bedroom, which I thought that they all were sharing that one penthouse suite. So I was confused about that. I was very confused.
Me too.
They didn't explain anything. And also, like, they were acting like they had the fantasy suite together. Someone did something weird, and then it was uncomfortable.
I know, but I thought they were on the same page, and they just didn't end up going. I was confused.
Something happened. And I will.
What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe one of them, like, knocked on the other one's door in the middle of the night and was, like, wanting to initiate something more, and the other person, like, shut it down, and it got really awkward. But something went wrong, because it was too extreme. It didn't make any sense. Because, by the way, that tension lasted from rehearsal all the way till when they were in that green room before the performance.
I know.
Something happened. And producers didn't want us to see it because they won.
But then also, Brie just said, like, something shifted today. And I guess that doesn't mean that nothing happened, but...
And I guess there are those moments where things shift and it's like you can't really explain why something feels off. But there's a difference between off and, like, agitated. Like, she seemed agitated.
God, I'd have to watch it back to figure this out. But I was thinking maybe he said, like, what if we take the fantasy suite just to get to know each other? Like, maybe during that dinner conversation, he suggested something like that.
Okay.
Or vice versa. And the other person was just like,
Shut it
no,
down.
that's not a good idea. And then they're like, okay, so no fantasy suite.
Maybe.
And then it was just a little weird.
It definitely felt to me...
Because they could have edited around that.
It felt to me like she was agitated and he was trying to make up for it a little bit.
I actually felt like he seemed more distant. And she was trying to pretend like everything was okay.
Do you think...
I don't know. I've been getting... Dude, I've said it time and time again. I've been getting weird vibes from them since day one. I know.
And you know
opinion.
what? This really confirmed your weird vibe energy, because never have I ever seen a couple win and felt less like, oh my God, my heart. Because even when I'm not... And they seem like nice people. It's just like, I felt no joy. I was just like, cool, they won. I mean, I don't know. It just felt very anticlimactic to me.
I agree.
Because it was so awkward leading up to it. And it wasn't awkward in like a Matt Rudy way where there's like tension and they're struggling, but then they overcome. It's like, what is going on? We are not being shown something. ABC is they're keeping a secret from us because they want a couple to work and to have like this pretty, wrapped with a bow type ending for their first season of Listen to Your Heart, not knowing how successful or unsuccessful it was going to be. First and last season of Listen to Your Heart. There's no way it's getting renewed. I mean, I'd be shocked.
I would too.
But I guess you never know.
Because they also have no way of gauging how lucrative like the after tour and all that stuff will be, because it didn't happen.
Very true. Very true.
I can't imagine how many people would have actually been flying to their computers to book a show to see Chris and Brie. I don't mean that. Like, I didn't mean that as shady as that sounded, but I just don't see people getting like super jazzed.
No.
Like, yeah, the couple I was rooting for all along.
For example, again, the numbers may be different now, but when I checked a few days ago, like, Rudy, Matt, Natasha, Ryan, these people have more followers than like Chris and Brie. Or Jamie. Now, Trevor had a lot of followers going into it, so he has more. But, it wasn't like the top two couples gained the most followers.
No.
So I think that they would have had the best. It seems like the couple that was the most beloved, that overall people were the most fanatical about, we'll say that mildly because it wasn't a huge explosion, but Matt and Rudy seemed to be the overall favorite over the past 2 weeks, that I saw the most passion about specifically was their relationship and their performances
I think people really
together.
liked Ryan too.
Yeah. Oh
Maybe
no.
not Natasha though. I'll tell you what though. The guy working with Chris and Bree in their rehearsal was the producer's dream.
Oh
He
yeah.
was just making them feel even more uncertain through that whole thing. He's like, no, there's just zero chemistry.
But I mean, the shade. He was just like, are you guys like together or not? Because it doesn't feel like that anymore. Did you guys break up? Was the sex bad? Did you not have sex?
Let's talk about your relationship with your mother, both of you.
Here, oh God, when they were starting to practice together and they walk into the room and the band has like tripled because it's like the final orchestra / band, like all the backup singers, all this. And you're seeing them perform together and it's awkward. And when you are hearing it, it's off and there's something wrong. And all I could think about was like that feeling, Becca, when like, it's like being in a musical in high school, right? When you're having like one of your run-throughs and it's the 2 days before the actual show and you do a run-through and as soon as the run-through's over, your musical theater director is standing like this in the audience. Empty audience. And is just like, you guys take 5 and we'll reconvene back here in a few minutes. And you're all just like quaking and you're like, we just did the whole first run-through. And you sit there and your director's like, something was off. And you all felt it too. Like you just feel like
it's there.
It's just off. And it's the most anxiety causing feeling. Oh God, it's the worst. And you're like, how are we supposed to fix this? Because it's not like people were doing anything like missing lines or singing like poorly or whatever. And that's how it was with Chris and Bree. It was just
it felt frustrating
off.
too. Like I felt the frustrated vibes of like, okay, this is just, she said like, I'm feeling uninspired.
Yeah.
Etc.
Yeah. And he was just kind of like, okay, you just kill it. And she's like, yeah, I will. But it's the first time we've seen her with not a huge smile plastered on her face. And I'm like, also, Bree's competitive.
Yeah.
And I think we saw that more in this episode where it's like, all right, her and Chris have been coasting since day one with this because everyone's just like, oh, their chemistry. Now all of a sudden they have an off day. And you see that she's like, no, girlfriend is taking this shit seriously and is just like stressing out and is competitive.
Well, what was hilarious is meanwhile, when they're cutting back to Trevor and Jamie, it was sending me. They're all over each other. They're just like, baby, boo, boo. Ooh, can't wait to kill it with you on stage.
Their toes are even like intertwined in he's getting interviewed in his robe.
So good. They're
feeding each other like jelly-filled donuts and they're just like, ugh. And then they don't even show their rehearsal.
The cutting between them in the cars.
Oh
with
my God.
Chris and Bree just sitting there.
Oh my God.
Chris is like looking out the window, just like, and then meanwhile, Trevor and Jamie are like fucking fingering each other in the back seat.
Trevor is like
so funny.
Trevor's like released himself, and so he's just like, I just want us to relax and like enjoy the performance. And then she's just like, your voice is so sexy, and he's like, yours is beautiful.
Yours is beautiful.
And it's just like, oh, these two.
Like, thanks.
And then she sings a run into his mouth. His mouth was literally open a little bit like this.
Okay.
He was like this. And she goes into his mouth and is like, yeah. Like, I can't fucking do a run.
Yeah. With her tongue.
And you're like, why are you singing that into his mouth?
That should be illegal.
That should be illegal, okay? If
everyone has the right to express themselves in any way except for that.
If I'm going to get
that's wrong.
If I'm going to get a fucking parking ticket for parking while there is like a street sweeper, this girl needs to get ticketed for singing a run into someone's mouth, okay?
Unacceptable. Immoral.
Unacceptable.
That's immoral is all I'm going to say about that. Chris and Bree are looking extremely unsure backstage.
Oh, they are quite tense. It's not a very happy feeling.
Jamie and Trevor are still kissing. What was with the stage setup with like the green grassy thing on the side? Did you notice that?
I don't know. I feel like Chris Harrison was just getting a little experimental.
A little dangly thingy here, some little room dividers here. The stage setup, then the actual stage setup with the rugs and the like panel screens just cracks me up because it reminds me of like every contemporary church ever.
Oh no, it felt like church, especially during Bree and Chris's song at the end. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in one of like the churches down the street where it's like all the lighting and like the band layout, the rugs. It felt very, very church. Contemporary church, like you said.
Yes. Yes. My church called The Well.
Yes.
Used to have a setup just like that.
Yeah. Like what is it? Zoe or I don't remember. Agape. I don't remember all the names of all of them.
What's with these?
The hot pastors. I don't know.
They're so such sexy names.
They're all sexy names.
The pastors,
and all the pastors are like crazy hot.
Yeah, and they wear like rainbows to service.
Gucci's now, baby girl.
Well, Gucci's. I mean, that's LA. I'm thinking more Orange County. Back when I used to go to what was the one in Costa Mesa?
Rock Harbor, baby.
Rock Harbor. I used to go to Rock Harbor in college.
That was a sexy Orange County church.
Did you ever go to Rock Harbor?
Babe, yeah, I did. I definitely probably bumped into you.
I was going to say, were we there? Oh my God. Everyone was really nice there.
I know. It was actually, everyone was very nice. Were we worshiping tandem, bitch?
I don't know, but their worship was really good. I actually really liked Rock Harbor. And they had a sweet foyer setup. So.
They really did. Lots of hotties there, too. Definitely a great place if you were single and a Christian looking to mingle. The real life Christian mingle.
Yeah. Everyone from my, what's the college group? I can't think of what it's called now that I was a part of.
Oh.
The Christian college group that's on every single campus.
I don't know about that.
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm thinking of Young...
Yes. Young Life.
Young Life. Yes.
Everyone in my Young Life group went to Rock Harbor.
Oh, of course.
Anyways. So sorry for that. So the judges.
Okay. So I'm going to say this to you. We have been waiting week after week, episode after goddamn episode.
For Lady Gaga.
And you know what ABC didn't provide for us? Not even a PA. Not even a PA from A Star Is Born. Not a single person. Like, this is awkward. Like, all I can compare it to, it's like, imagine if there was a show on a national network, one of the biggest networks in the entire world, and the show is literally based on the movie that you came out with, and they have judges, other famous musicians. They mention
name dropping, by the way, constantly
every week, and you're not on it. It feels like that awkward person who thinks they're your friend, who's always like hitting you up, and you're like, why won't they stop contacting me?
And like your other friends are like, oh yeah, blah 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 said like you guys know each other, and you're like, we've met like once.
Like, I don't know that person. Lady Gaga's like, my God, I left one tweet about Peter's finale, and now they think we're best friends. Now ABC The Bachelor thinks we're best friends. Okay, this is not what I intended. I could not believe she was not one of the judges.
Also, by the way, when we were talking about the reason I thought we were going to bring back Matt and Rudy is because in truthfulness, if we're going to look at A Star Is Born, they had the closest to Star Is Born kind of relationship.
Yes, they did.
Tumultuous, passionate.
Yes.
But
what an oversight, ABC. What an oversight.
Instead, this is the thing. The judges weren't my favorite because actually last week's, they were like way more brutal on everybody. I wish they had last week's judges on this week.
I know. I felt
everyone was kind of letting everyone off easy.
There was an occasional comment here and there, but everyone was pretty low key. So of Bachelor Nation, there was Caitlyn and Jason.
Yes.
And then there was Tay Diggs.
Yes.
Jewel, who I am a huge fan of. Love Jewel's music.
And Rita Wilson.
And
they were like, yeah, they were definitely like big people.
Yes, but Becca, think about this. Talk about a loss in my being.
What?
Rita Wilson, wife of Tom Hanks, co-founder of Playtone Records. She could have seen Ryan play and been like, this is Guy from That Thing You Do, the movie that I helped write and songs that I helped write reincarnate. And she missed him. This would have been the moment. I was devastated. Of all people.
Or did I not even think of
Of all people, they have Rita Wilson on.
I love the part she plays in That Thing You Do, too.
I know.
The cocktail waitress.
Yes.
Where she's like, go talk to...
Liv Tyler.
No, she's like, go talk to the drummer that I can't think of his name.
Oh, you mean when she's talking?
Bill Paxton.
Bill
yeah.
Paxton, yes.
Anyway. Caitlyn and Rita Wilson also looked sort of related sitting next to each other. They had the exact same hairstyle and very similar outfits.
They definitely did. They definitely had like a mother-daughter energy going on for sure. Definitely mother-daughter. Rita was killing me when she was just like, when Chris Harrison is like, what are you looking for? I'm like, actually, Rita Wilson gave us the first legit answer. Chris Harrison has actually been asking the judges every week, what are you looking for? Because he's trying to figure out what the whole purpose of this show is. He's like, we're still a little confused.
We're still prepping the pitch, actually.
The lines are it's a bit muddy. It's a bit blurry. So what do you think this show is about? And Rita Wilson's like, strip naked emotionally, make beautiful song intercourse, and leave with a song baby. And I'm like, that's that's all I needed. That was the definition that I needed, to be honest.
Yes, exactly. Then that was very Bachelor-esque in nature. Okay, so
before we get into it, also, by the way, I was just thinking about when I was watching Rita Wilson the whole time, I'm like, oh my God, I keep forgetting too that she got COVID. Her and Tom Hanks, they were the first celebrity couple.
I thought of that when you said that. I forgot.
And I'm like, oh my God, how soon after filming?
Did she infect everyone
Was
here?
everyone infected? Like, I have no idea.
Was she asymptomatic in the 2-week period?
I mean, my God, who knows? Okay, well, here's the deal, broads. Batch Nation. We can never get enough, right? And we have another podcast for all you broads to check out. It is The Snatchler. The Snatchler is the Bachelor podcast you didn't know you needed, with Margot Oshry and her roommate Nicole, as they do a deep dive weekly into all the latest Bachelor drama.
They've got all the inside scoop and guests to keep you caught up. Margot and Nicole are two best friends living in New York City, having the time of their lives, and they share their own dating experiences while also watching and criticizing The Bachelor, like we do, and all Bachelor-related shows.
They're obsessed with Bachelor Nation and always have the tea. This show is everything you need to listen to if you love The Bachelor. Also, if you are a young post-grad just trying to get through this phase of life, work and everything in between, you will definitely relate to Margot and Nicole.
Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and check out The Snatchler. I like that name.
I know, so good. She's hilarious. Okay, so back to the show. Chris Harrison tells the judges that they have a huge responsibility, and as soon as the performances start, this just feels so underwhelming. Like, considering it's the final.
That's what I was saying. Picking between the two is like, how do you pick between two mediocre performances?
It was like, I mean...
Well, this, like, the arrangement of the songs and everything was just anticlimactic.
It was just all right. Like...
I mean, Bree and Chris picked it up with their second song.
Yeah. And
they finally stopped looking. They finally broke their gaze for the first time in 5 weeks.
Well, and unfortunately, Jamie and Trevor really took notes from Chris and Bree and were pretty much just holding hands and staring into each other's eyes the entire time.
Jamie really needs to stop touching his face and shoulder. That really bothers me.
Now,
it really needs to stop.
Yes, I will say this. Jamie, I feel like, had maybe I think with the first song, I think maybe it was her best performance vocally. And then the top of the second song, I think she sounded the best she has.
Same with Trevor. I thought Trevor in the first performance sounded the best that he's ever, or first or second. I can't remember which one, but I thought Trevor sounded the best he's ever sounded as well.
They did a great job. Like, they sounded the best. Yeah. Again, that they were sounding great. But her nervous energy for me, I can close my eyes and listen to it, but watching it makes me feel anxious.
They have in my opinion, little stage presence, and the stage presence that they do have is uncomfortable
Yes,
to me.
it's very uncomfortable.
So, yeah.
And
I mean, that's a little harsh, but I was just like, this is not...
no, it wasn't. It's not my cup of tea.
I don't want to watch it. Like, I don't want to watch the performance does make me a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just, like, when he would hit a great note, Jamie would scream and start jumping up and down, like, mid-performance. And if I was Trevor, I would have been pissed. I'd be like, do not yell and jump up and down when I hit a good note, because you know what that looks like? It makes it look like I don't
Like
normally do that. Yes. So you're making this, it's like when your kid is like in a little league thing and he hits a home run, you're like, oh my God, he finally did, like screaming.
Wow, he never hits the ball.
It's like,
he never makes contact.
It's like, Mom, shut up. I'm trying to appear cool to my friends. Like, that's what it felt like to me, and I would have not been stoked about it.
Well, Gray summed it up, I thought, well, and actually went along with many of the judges' comments. Both songs, he just said, it's just cute.
Yes.
Which is oof.
Which is an oof.
But it's true.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're just cute.
It's cute.
It's like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. You guys are good singers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's the correct term. Girl, you know what made me the most uncomfy?
What, is them talking after?
That was also something. I forgot about that. But no, when they sang the first song and then she hit the mic and was like, all right, next we're going to be performing a Dan and Shay song. And she like announces it in between the transition. And I'm like, oh my God, ABC with the budge. Are you going to really make them have to announce their next song? But then I noticed during...
But then they didn't do
the
it.
Brie and Chris, they did it. And I'm like, Jamie went off book and decided to like do a shout out to the crowd and like announce the next performance. Oh no. It just did not feel, because the band had a beautiful transition between both songs. And then when she did that, it just felt very like, this is talent show at high school camp.
That's just Gray said the exact same thing.
The talent
he said
show.
He said it feels like a junior high talent show.
It felt very talent showy.
And they won the talent show.
And they won prom king and prom queen for sure. And then on top of it, they have nice voices. We love them. We worship them at the school. That's the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, after Trevor just says, she's already seen his soul, and they go on their little monologue about their relationship. Now, this is the thing. The judges' comments that I wrote down.
Yes.
Rita said, "You're sweet together." What's the guy's name?
Tay Diggs.
I don't know. Who is he? Who is he?
He's like,
who is he?
He's like famous actor, model. I think they said he did music, but I don't know of any. But yeah.
Well, Tay Diggs called them. So Rita Wilson calls them sweet. Tay Diggs calls them adorable. So.
Yeah.
Oh, he's known for his roles in Broadway's Rent.
Oh, yes. Okay. Also, I think Tay Diggs, Tay Diggs was married to Idina Menzel.
Oh, the queen herself.
So he has every right to judge away, okay? Like, you're married to the queen? Okay. Also, speaking of Idina Menzel, have you ever heard, or did you ever hear when John Travolta tried to pronounce her name at the Oscars?
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
That sounds really embarrassing, though.
I'm so sorry, broads, but this is something that is necessary for all of you to hear, because at one of the Oscars, this was in 2014, Frozen was up for whatever, the song of the year, Let It Go or whatever, and Idina was going to come up and have her like first Oscar performance on television, and John Travolta announced her in. And so
there will always be a special place in my heart for the movie musical and for the songs that create their most memorable moments. Here to perform the Oscar-nominated, gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen. Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
I've watched that clip 500 times.
Is that where he left off?
Yes.
And
then she came out. The wickedly talented Azimism.
What the fuck was that?
Anyways,
serious?
It's never gotten old. And then Adina, the goddess, has to come out and perform after that. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was watching it live, and it was I've never screamed harder.
That's insanity.
Anyways, Bronze,
Thank you for sharing
but I
that.
feel like that
I'm
needed
gonna
to
go
be
watch
shared.
so many more times after we finish recording this. That's insane.
You're so welcome.
Wow.
I'm sweating because it makes me laugh that hard.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Okay, so wow.
So yes,
the judge's comment, yeah,
Tay Diggs says that
he did,
they're like you said, they're both truly into each other so much that the nerves got the best of them. And I was like, oh
blame
honey,
it on the relationship.
it's been like that every week.
He's like, your nerves told on you. Yeah, no.
And then Caitlyn says,
Jules crying?
Yeah, Jewel is crying, and I'm like, what? I didn't think that it was that great, but I don't know.
Okay.
She had a very different reaction to Brie and Chris's. She was
No.
not nearly as
I
emotional.
know.
She did not like Brie and Chris's performance, but she
I know.
enjoyed Trevor and Jamie's. And then Caitlyn says, do you guys do fantasy suites on this show? And all of a sudden you see Brie and Chris quaking from the back because they're like, oh God. Because Caitlyn's just like, either you guys need one or you guys definitely had one together, but the chemistry is crazy. And Brie's just, the heat is rising, just like, we made a mistake. We could have had optimal musical chemistry.
What did we miss out on? Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
That was pretty much the judge's commentary with that, though. And
Yeah.
then Brie and Chris go on and they sing Make You Feel My Love. What was the other one they sang?
An Ed Sheeran song that I don't know the name of.
I mean, more staring at each other.
Yeah, it was, I will say again, to Brie and Chris, just like Trevor and Jamie's, I definitely felt like this was the strongest that they've sounded together.
Yes. And best performance.
And best performance. You know, you see week to week, like, they're getting better,
growth.
right? They're gaining confidence. But
like you said, not finale vibes.
no,
Like,
not finale vibes. And that's the thing. That's where it felt a little like, I don't know. At least they separated. And that was my favorite part of the performance, was when all of a sudden it picked up
finally,
and they walked away from each
looked
other.
away from each
But
other.
they only walked away for maybe 3 seconds.
And I savored every second
And
of
I
those 3
loved
seconds.
every moment they weren't together.
It's like, yes.
Work the crowd.
I mean, maybe I'm being harsh, but I don't think so. I just felt like the 4 total performances just felt unremarkable. I mean, we've seen killer performances from other people that have gone home. We saw killer performances every week from Matt and Rudy. We saw some fantastic little shows put on by Natasha and Ryan. I just think the strength as performers is not there like it is with some of the other
Julia and
contestants.
Sheridan were fantastic together.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True. And I just wasn't seeing the onstage presence, the stage presence. I wasn't seeing the stage presence.
Danny and Becca.
Yeah, you know,
No, that was...
it's a little disappointing to say that the pizzazz in the finale with these two couples just
I know.
didn't even parallel. Yeah.
I
don't
mean,
know.
but the judges were really into them. The judges liked them a
again,
lot. And
This is the problem with the judges seeing the isolated performances. And I sort of wish we had one judge. Why didn't Chris Harrison judge each week?
Oh, Becca. If they would have had him go back and forth and then he
would have
sat
been
in the
brutal.
center, like the Godfather, he would have been so
He would have
good.
been Simon fucking Cowell.
I would have loved that. They needed consistent judges.
They needed at least one person to say to the other judges, like, well, what I have to say is they've been consistently or like we've seen growth.
Take some fucking clues from RuPaul's Drag Race. Every week, RuPaul is on Michelle Visage, and it's either like Carson Kressley or what's his sweet face.
Take cues from literally every other competition show ever.
But then they have a new celebrity judge every time that comes in and out. Ross Matthews,
they do that with Project Runway. They do that with America's Next Top Model. I mean, like literally, this is how you do competition shows. You need consistency.
Have consistency because the judges have to know if they're seeing growth, because growth is important too. If they see them the first week and they do all right, they're in the bottom 2, and then the next week they do better and better and better and better. That's a journey that the audience is excited about too. How did they not do that? It doesn't make any sense.
It's embarrassing, quite frankly.
Ryan and Natasha would not have been gone.
No.
If that would have been the case.
No, and I wish Matt and Rudy gave some of cumulatively the best performances.
I think
because
they should have won the show.
Week,
yeah.
Yeah. Every week they were like at they got like a 90 to 95%. Like they're, I mean, I know Ryan and Natasha had really good ones, but you know, that last one was a dud. I still would have kept them on, but you know what I'm saying? Rudy and Matt, they were fire on stage together.
Every single week. Well, I mean, when Chris Harrison, by the way, before the judges give their opinions, Chris makes some comment and goes like, you know me, I just can't stop talking. Or he says something like that. I'm like, is that a joke? Or does he think that he's always talking? Because I'm like, I've heard maybe like 50 words and he's been one of the main characters. God. And then Brie says this thing that I'm like, and that's when the competition is flashing in my brain.
What'd she say?
Brie says, this is the calmest I have ever felt before a performance, and this is the biggest performance. And I'm like, that's a lie, because we saw a clip of you off stage, and she literally said to Chris, have you ever seen me like this before? Because she was like shaking and dancing. And she said at one point how nervous she was. And it was like, so then in front of the judges, you're going to say that this is the calmest you've ever felt before. And she's like, it's because of him. And I'm like, ugh.
You fake.
I was a little bit like, oh no, I don't like that at all.
Oh my God, we completely glossed over them doing that shot of Jamie warming up in the mirror. That sent me. With her eyes.
Oh my gosh, watching people warm up vocally makes me so uncomfortable. Throw my voice to the back of the stage. Throw it.
Ha, 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 ha. More projecting, more from the chest. Ha, 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 ha.
The diaphragm, the diaphragm.
Grayson does this great impression of a choir teacher where he's like, send the voice, articulate. Oh my God. Make you feel my love.
Every theater teacher ever is like, you need to enunciate each word. They need to understand.
Slice the words through the air. Chop down people in the audience with your S's. Decapitate your fellow performers with your T's. We should do sketches where we're drama teachers. Maybe we should do that in some future of ours.
Honestly,
maybe we should be drama teachers.
I would love to do a spoof show where it's like a YouTube of us and we're always drama teachers.
We should make a competition show like with high schoolers and just be fucking brutal. You're never going to be Adina.
Never.
I know you think that.
Not reveal,
you maybe have.
Not reveal that it's a spoof, so these poor high schoolers are just devastated.
Or we could just make a real show.
Very true. And we
could just call it the drama teachers. And we're just like throwing shit at people. No! Again! Ripping scripts up.
Sweet Terry's like, I don't want to go back in there and audition again. They injured me the last time with one of those scripts. Miss Martinez, she chucked that thing real hard across the stage. And she told me that I would never amount to anything.
Also, you know, people would be auditioning. I'd be like, Jess, we need to show them what this scene is really supposed to look like. Come on. Let's
and
get
it's
up
like,
there.
oh God, there goes Miss Martinez and Miss Ambrose doing the Mr. Mistopheles, the Mungo Jerry and Rumple teaser. Duet again.
Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Oh my God.
We're always fighting.
Meanwhile, it cuts to
We're
you.
always fighting
cuts
over
to
who
you.
gets what role. I'm like, I do not want to be the Phantom this round. I was the Phantom last time. I want to be
am
Christine. I've always been Christine. You know this, Becca. You know it. You know it.
It cuts to you. You're flirting with like some 15-year-old guy over by the little water thing.
You've got thick glasses on. You're just like, God, here she goes.
You know, I was quite the performer back in my day. It just pans over to you.
I'm smoking a cigarette inside the school.
You got a fake ID? I always had a fake ID. Maybe we could go for a drink after this. Like, Jess? Oh my God. Okay, anyway.
I think this is the most tangenty we've been for a while.
Needless to say, that show would be much more entertaining than this one.
I agree.
So the judge's commentary on them, like you said, Jewel sliced through Brie and was like,
did not like
you didn't
Brie.
have any energy in your body.
Do you know what?
And I was like, what about energy in his eyes? Like I've been talking about for years now.
Energy in general. Also, I feel like Jewel, like Brie reminds me of Jewel. Like her vocally, they almost kind of physically have something. There's something similar for some reason that I feel like maybe Jewel was extra critical because she saw potential in Brie and was like, I must grow her. So here's this hint. Move your body more. Detach from Chris.
Tay Diggs said he would pay to see their performance. I was like,
Did you hear Caitlin go, oh?
Same.
Like, wow, that is, you're taking it a little farther, Tay. I don't know about paying.
You would?
Interesting perspective.
Okay.
And then she did the same thing too, and Jason was like, honestly, it's time for the world to see you two because you have so much to show and give. And KB goes, wow, okay. She's like, these judges are really loving this shit, and it's good, but this seems extreme.
What did Rita Wilson say? I don't remember.
It was just one of those like, oh my gosh, you guys are so beautiful together. You know, you're lovely, whatever. Like it was just compliments. Well, this time, Chris Harrison is thrilled because for the first time in Bachelor history, there will be a rose ceremony live in front of a sold out audience. Which I'm like,
sold out as if those people paid to be
like,
there.
definitely those tickets were free. People.
Granted, they probably were able to fill it up pretty easily because I don't know if you saw those fans, but they were rabid.
They were so excited. Also, like, we love a Nashville audience. You know, if you see a show in Nashville, this room is full of other musicians who know, like, it's important to give to the people who are performing. And so they were giving it. It's like when you go to LA and see a show, the worst audience. Everyone just has their arms crossed and they're just being judgmental. This Nashville.
Granted, these people are all very obviously Bachelor fans.
Yes, definitely Bachelor fans, and they were really giving it. And then, you know, we don't even see the judges deliberate, which was annoying to me. I'm like, let's see. I want to see
them argue.
I want to see KB, and I want to see Rita Wilson get into a mother-daughter tiff. I want to see Tay and Jewel argue. I want to see Chris Harrison come in and be like, I want to see them all choose Trevor and Jamie, and then Chris Harrison come in and be like, final decision, Brie and Chris. And then like walk out, just give it to Brie and Chris anyways. I wanted that, and we don't see that at all.
We didn't see any deliberation, and it was just like, well, and the winners are... It was
The winners are Bree and Chris. There's no confetti. There's no cannons exploding. There's no fireworks. The judges just
there's no confetti falling from the ceiling.
The judges go on stage and hug them, and it's kind of like, it's not like these judges who have a relationship with them because they've been week to week with them, so you don't feel like emotion.
Right.
And then,
Yeah,
it was weird. It made me feel, it just felt weird.
it was over so quick. Also, we didn't even really see much like backstage, like, do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, we didn't see even much of the reaction.
No, Jamie and Trevor like go off and are like, I'm just happy that I'm with her, and who knows, maybe they're happy together. We'll
Maybe
find
they
out.
are.
We'll discuss on
Can't wait to see.
Thursday. But then Chris and Bree, like, they don't even have like a record exec come up and be like, here's a check for this much money to have your record deal, or like there was no anything. They run out. And then there's a tour bus waiting for them. Like, they're going to hop on and go on tour. Like, everyone has been...
We all know that's not happening, once again.
First of all, that's not happening. Second, no one knew about them because this show isn't happening live. So, like, they're going to hop on a tour bus to empty venues.
That's so true.
It's like, what I don't know what illusion they were trying to create.
I don't know.
And then they gave each other roses. And then they started to sing their song to each other.
All very underwhelming.
It was weird. And then we saw them a few weeks later, and they're at a studio recording actually an original song. And then it says that they're very much in love and happy together and excited for their debut album. It did not mention the tour, obviously. But yeah, that was it. And Becca, I'm really sad because when we saw that first episode, many moons ago, when we saw the first episode of Bachelor Listen to Your Heart, we had very high hopes.
We did.
And I say, if they ever do this show again, take some of your producer notes into mind, first of all. And
yes, obviously.
And second, make it more like American Idol and have it be more live, like Love Island, where it's happening like day of, and let the people vote. Let us vote. Let us have a say. People will get way more invested if we have the opportunity to vote.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about they can't do that because they got to edit their time. I mean, maybe that's the problem. Maybe The Bachelor relies too much on like the narrative of like the villain and the and the hero kind of thing. Maybe they could even have that, on Monday they air the behind the scenes personal in the house date night shit. And then on Wednesdays they have the live performances and they just show the performances like American Idol style, and we get to vote. And then we already have, then they can edit it the way that they want and make us think whoever is the villain, and then we get to watch the quote unquote villain sing in real time, and that would be exciting. True. I don't know. I say just don't even do it again. It's dumb.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
why try?
Thanks for going on this journey with us, broads. We were really excited, and you know what? I did very much enjoy a few weeks of this. There were certain weeks that I had a great time, and I had fun recapping it.
Me too. I always have fun recapping with you, Jess.
Aw, B. I feel the same
Precious,
way.
Right? All right, well,
musical partners for forever. Well,
drama teachers for life.
Broads, tune in Thursday. We will catch up with what's going on with some of these couples, and we also have a fun guest coming. We can't again say yet who it is, but it's going to be good, and you won't want to miss it. And chat soon.